Thank you, and you're welcome to speak on the bill.
Of course. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. My name is Riley Gaines. I'm here on behalf of myself as well as the Independent Women's Voice, and I urge you to pass House Bill 574. I recently graduated from the University of Kentucky, where I was a student and a member of the women's swim and dive team. I proudly finished my career as a 12-time NCAA All-American, a 5-time SEC champion, the SEC record holder in the 200 butterfly, making me one of the fastest Americans of all time, and a 2-time Olympic trial qualifier. All that to say, being successful at the elite level is far from easy, and it's a lifelong journey. It's impossible to put into words the amount of time and dedication and sacrifices that I've made. I started swimming when I was 4, so I've dedicated 18 years of my life to achieving maximum performance in my sport, which is not unique when competing at the collegiate level. On March 17th of 2022, my teammates and I, as well as female swimmers from universities around the country, were forced to compete against biological male Lia Thomas. Thomas was allowed to compete in the women's division after competing on the University of Pennsylvania's men's team the 3 years prior. The first day of competition, we watched on the side of the pool as Thomas swam to a national title in the 500 freestyle, beating out the most impressive and accomplished female swimmers in the country, including many U.S. Olympians and American record holders by body lengths. It's important to mention that Thomas was ranked 462nd at best amongst the men the year before. That next day, I raced Thomas in the 200 freestyle, which ended up in a tie. We went the exact same time down to the 100th of a second. Having only one trophy, the NCAA gave it to Thomas and told me that I had to go home empty-handed because Thomas needed to hold the trophy for pictures. I felt betrayed and belittled, and like my efforts and sacrifices I had made had been reduced to a photo op to validate the identity and feelings of a male. But my feelings did not matter. But that is not all. In addition to being forced to give up our awards and our titles and our opportunities, the NCAA forced female swimmers to share a locker room with Thomas, a 6'4", 22-year-old male equipped with and exposing male genitalia in a room full of vulnerable, undressed women. Let me be clear. We were not forewarned about this arrangement. No one asked for our consent, and we did not give our consent. If nothing else, I truly hope you can see how this is a violation of our right to privacy and how we felt embarrassed, uncomfortable, and even traumatized by this experience. In 1972, Congress enacted Title IX to end unjust sex discrimination in all aspects of education, including collegiate athletics. Make no mistake about it, by allowing Thomas to displace female athletes in the pool and on the podium, the NCAA and these colleges intentionally discriminated on the basis of sex. Although they claim they acted in the name of inclusion, their policies in fact excluded female athletes, the very athletes whom Title IX was created to protect. It's impossible to speak for every single girl on that pool deck, and I don't claim to speak for every girl, but I can wholeheartedly attest to the tears that I witnessed from the 9th and 17th place finishers who missed out on being named an All-American by 1 place. And again, I can wholeheartedly attest to the extreme discomfort in the locker room from 18 to 22-year-old girls who were exposed to male body parts and having to undress in a room with a male watching. I can attest to the anger and whispers of frustration expressed by these girls who, just like myself, had worked their entire lives and sacrificed so much to get to that moment. And I can wholeheartedly attest to the fact that around the country, female athletes who protested the inclusion of Lia Thomas in the women's division were threatened, intimidated, and emotionally blackmailed into silence and submission. I'm certain I speak for more than just myself when I stand before you and share my testimony. But unfortunately, our experiences as D1 swimmers, it's not unique. The number of female athletes who have been denied opportunities, again, traumatized or hurt by these policies that claim to promote inclusion is growing at an alarming rate. It's simply unacceptable, and the integrity of women's sports is lost, and that is why I implore you to please pass legislation that preserves women's athletic opportunities at all levels. I appreciate the opportunity to share my experience, and I hope you consider the facts, the science, and the growing stories. Thank you.